coming back for Ohio State is Meske. 6'4" our star. There's the IPFW starting lineup. Matt Pliski, C.J. Macias, Brock Aldrich, Josh Collins, Colin Lundeen, the setter, Vitor Oliveira, and Josh Stewart.
It's a great pass right there by Brock.
Free ball chance coming up for IPFW. Lundeen setting up Macias. Little dink shot. Finds the open court. Point IPFW.
And that's a crafty shot because Macias lost his footing. He wasn't able to really jump and get after that set like he normally does. So he made the best of the situation and rolled it in behind the block. It's good, safe, smart play when he was in trouble with his approach.
Colin Lundeen, the senior out of British Columbia, Canada, with the serve. The setup for Meske, and his kill attempt is long. 8-4 is our score. IPFW on top. Game 1 of our best of 5 match tonight. Steve, this crowd is getting bigger by the second, literally, here in the Gate Center.
Oh, yeah, the turnouts have been excellent over the past couple weeks here at the Gate Center. Arnie's Army is really drawing a lot of support, and I bet we'll be easily at 2,000 by the time this match is really in the middle and by the heart of this match. Service
error by Lundeen. Serve goes over to Ohio State. Wow. And Ohio State will get the point. A big, big serve by Daniel Matthews. Again, he is a 6'6" junior out of Shorewood, Wisconsin. IPFW jumped out to the 4-0 lead. It's now 8-6 in favor of the Volleyball. Another jump serve coming out. Free ball chance for Ohio State.
Brock's really having trouble with this server.
And Meske.
Oh, that's a great connection. That is a great connection. It's sometimes called a tandem. It's where the middle hitter goes up for a quick set, and then in behind him comes maybe the right side usually. So the middle blocker will jump with the middle hitter and then be left. A big opening will be for the second hitter coming through.
Oliveira off the Lundeen set. Stops the Ohio State run, at least for the moment.
That's a nice job of Vitor hitting some angles, and what I mean by angles is you got a middle blocker right in front of you, so you want to either hit left or right, but not straight through the middle. So it's a nice job of him cutting it to the right of the middle.
Josh Collins, senior from suburban Toronto, with a jump serve. And it's a wee bit long, a service error.
He's trying for that back line, and he just missed. One thing the Mastodons do is they serve tough. They go for it, and when you do that, it's a high-risk, high-reward type of play. You either get a bad pass or an ace, or sometimes a service error.
Robbie Klein out of Cincinnati Moeller High School with the serve. Ulrich. Oh, nice dig that time. The setup for Stevens, and that's dug out.
Both liberos showing off right now.
Macias off the hands of Matthews. Point Volleyball. It's now 10-8 in favor of IPFW.
And that kill just showcases the athleticism of Macias because he literally had no approach. He basically jumped straight up from under the ball and was still able to put a lot of velocity and pace on it.
Little float serve by Oliveira. Comes back with a dig. Lundeen going the left side to Ulrich. And it is in for another Volleyball point.
That's a great point for the Mastodons because two things. One, they got a great dig out of a middle. Whenever you get a dig out of a middle hitter, that's a bonus because typically they don't chip in on defense very much. And then when you can hit an angle like Brock just did, it's just a great rally.
Matthews short set. And coming in with the kill is Lane Draven, a fifth-year senior, 6'8" out of Pittsburgh. Again, if you're just tuning in, it's 11-9 IPFW. Ohio State with the serve. Draven into the net. Service error. Second one of those by Ohio State. And C.J. Macias will start the second rotation of serves for IPFW.
And since Macias is the right side and he's back to serve, that means Colin Lundeen's front row, the setter for the IPFW Mastodons.
Matthews setting up Meske, but Stewart's block attempt goes a little bit wide.
And while a setter being front row sometimes is trouble for teams because setters usually are smaller and not as good blockers as the right sides, Lundeen's actually an exceptional blocker and maybe one of the best on the team.
Good jump serve by Dan Meske. Lundeen for Stewart. Oh, and Ohio State keeps it alive thanks to Robbie Klein, and the Buckeyes come away with the point on the touch.
The Buckeyes are D'ing it up, I can tell you that much. We've had some sensational digs already, just this game alone.
Second time the Buckeyes are serving to tie game one. Dan Meske, the jump serve into the net. Third service there, Steve, on the Buckeyes.
Right, and second in a row, and so they're not helping themselves. And the Dons, with a very good server and Brock Ulrich going back, they can extend this lead.
We like to describe Ulrich's serve as a corkscrew, and it's a little bit long.
He got his toss out a little in front of him, had to sort of chase it. Wasn't able to get over the top of the ball like he typically can, but his serve can really cause some teams some trouble, so you can bet the Buckeyes are happy he missed.
Sam Stevens takes a deep breath and serves it up. Lundeen for Stewart. Off Meskey's hand, point IPFW.
You know what, that's you know, if you miss a serve, you want to come back and make a play, and Brock made a heck of a pass there off a very tough serve, so in my opinion, he redeemed himself for missing his serve there.
Float serve by Josh Stewart. Matthews setting up Dravin and make it Robbie Klein. Robbie Klein leading the Buckeyes in kills. 3.6 kills per game.
The Buckeyes are getting some good offense out of both their outside hitters right now, and a lot of times if you're passing breakdowns, you gotta lean on them. So it's good to know they can get it out of them.
Battle at the net, and they're gonna say Josh Stewart actually touched the net. Point Ohio State. We are tied 14 apiece.
Yeah, Josh Collins had to go up after a tight set and try and save it. His momentum carried him into it.
John Albertson with the serve. Cowan Lundeen setting up Oliveira. Off the touch, the Dons get the point. And
another great pass by Brock Ulrich and a good high hand swing on the angle by Oliveira.
Timeout on the floor. Dons up 15-14. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on College 5 Sports.
Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Back at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center, you're seeing a replay. Point for IPFW. Again, I'm Mike Maz. Happy to be back after being away the last 2 Fridays with the IPFW women's and men's basketball teams. Again, my thanks to Tim Heffron, who filled in for me over the last 2 Fridays, joined by women's assistant volleyball coach Steve Florio. 15-14, Steve. IPFW has led from the opening serve. Here's Cowan Lundeen serving for the second time here tonight. Jump serve. The set. Oh, off the touch. Ohio State gets the point. I think Lane Dravin will get credit for the kill. And now the Buckeyes have tied up game 1, 15-15. Serving will be Daniel Matthews, the setter. Good serve, awfully good serve. You'll get credited with an ace.
Well, the Buckeyes have been making the most of their service opportunities. They had a few misses, but when they get them in, they're causing the Dons a good amount of trouble.
Buckeyes hitting .438, IPFW .467. Not that many years thus far here in game 1. Another jump serve dug out by Ulrich. Lundeen setting up Macias on the left side. That's dug out by Stevens. Oliveira off the touch. At the net, it's the point for IPFW.
That's a great hit by Oliveira. I mean, it's a hard ball to time. It was a very high overpass, and he knows he's got a huge middle up in his face. He does a great job, again, of hitting that angle. He's just getting that hand. He's getting deflections and tooling it out of bounds. It's almost impossible to dig when you can tool it out of bounds like that.
Matthews setting up Klein and Oliveira, and Ulrich tag team to block it at the net. IPFW retakes the lead, 17-16.
And the Buckeyes have been doing a good job of tooling the block and getting deflections out of bounds from both antennas. And that time, Brock Ulrich makes sure it doesn't happen by turning his block in and making sure the ball deflects into the court.
Josh Collins with the serve. Short set. Klein blocked by Oliveira again, right in the middle at the net.
Well, that's 2 in a row for Klein to get blocked. You know, it's a nice job by the setter there, Matthews, to try and go back to him and let him redeem himself. But at this point, you maybe want to try someone else. You don't want Klein to get blocked 3 times in a row.
deep serve for Cowens. Matthews setting up Meski, and that's blocked again. Oh, the Buckeyes keep it alive.
Great dig by Plisky.
Oliveira, that time it's off the hand of Matthews. Right now, Steve, IPFW in sync, and timeout is called by Pete Hansen, the 23-year head coach at Ohio State. Taking a look, we just saw there a brief graphic, the MIVA standings, IPFW on top 3-0, Ball State 1-0. Ohio State has yet to play a conference match. Lewis, who the Dons defeated last Saturday night, 2-2. Loyola 1-2, both of those losses, 5-game matches to IPFW. In the national rankings, BYU, and Steve, I had a chance to see BYU on TV last Friday night, knock off UC Irvine in 3. They are 1-2, Pepperdine 3, UC Santa Barbara, which will be in here to play IPFW later this year, ranked 4th, IPFW 5th. And as we take a look at the replay, right now the Dons are communicating.
Yeah, well, they're doing, there you see Vitor Oliveira with the kill right before the timeout. Again, another angle, and he switches angle. He was hitting mostly power angle or wrist away angle, and there you see him hit a cutback. So he's mixing it up. He's really being very effective. He's not the highest jumping middle, but he's making the most with his shots, and that's all that matters, is how smart you play the game. And it's not always about power or height.
Cowens with the
A lot
serve.
of times it is.
Meski, it's a free ball chance in Macias. Oh, he's a little long.
Well,
CJ had the free ball chance, Steve, and he just hit it too
the
hard.
The Buckeyes get away with the one there. They had been blocked 3 times in a row. They call that timeout. Then they get a bad pass, and through no effort of their own, the Dons give them the ball back.
But Robbie Klein returns to favor. Unofficially, that's the 4th service error on Ohio State.
Right, and that's not great timing for a service error. You know, you fall in a rut. Your coach has to call timeout. You get a lucky break, and you get a chance to go back on and serve, and you miss it.
Lollipop serve, and on the short set, Lane Dravin knocks it down. 20-18 is the score. IPFW in front. Ohio State with the serve, and it'll be the 6'8" 5th-year senior out of Pittsburgh, Lane Dravin, with the honors. Just long. Boy, Plisky gave that a good look, Steve.
Yeah, he did. That's a good job, though. You're supposed to watch the ball and make sure it goes. You don't want to sort of assume or hope it goes out. You want to make sure it goes out.
Don's up by 3, and Macias will start the 3rd rotation of Volley Don serves. Good, strong serve. Matthews, and Ohio State will get the point off the touch. Albertson, John Albertson, 6'6" junior, academically, sophomore athletic-wise out of Missouri.
That's a good swing by Albertson, again, shooting for those angles, trying to deflect it off the hands.
Meski with a deep serve.
Great pass.
Lundeen for Ulrich. Oh, that's dug out nicely by Klein. Stevens blocked at the net, and I think Ohio State, well, it is point IPFW. Thought for a second it was going to fall in on the Don side.
Yeah, Stevens didn't have a whole lot of places to go with that shot, and with the way the Dons are blocking right now, he didn't have much of a chance. He needed to maybe try and hit for high hands or something, but very difficult set for him to hit.
Brock Ulrich with the serve. Blocking at the net is Lundeen, the setter.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. Lundeen is an exceptional blocker, possibly one of the best blocking setters in the game right now.
Don's up by 4, 23-19.
That's a big bonus when you can have a setter who can block like that. It's sort of like having a catcher in baseball who can hit for average or power.
Meski dug out by Ulrich, but his dig is wide, so the Buckeyes stopped the IPFW run. They closed to within 3 at 23-20. And here is Sam Stevens to serve in Ohio State. They lead the all-time series 49-34.
Plisky with a pretty good pass. What a connection right there.
What a dig by Stevens, but Collins with the kill.
The difficulty of that play, both by Lundeen to deliver the ball from about 12 feet off the net on a 31 set to Josh Stewart, is exceptional. and it's a great connection, great time. It just shows you how they're really in sync and why they're connecting so well. And then Josh Collins able to hit an over dig from about 8 to 9 feet off the net. That is a great hit. That is hard to do.
Jason Yost from California serves it into the net. Nice article in one of the local papers about Jason, Steve.
He's a nice surprise for the Mastodons. Lefty coming out of California. He's got a great arm, great serve, and will contribute offensively if he's called upon.
Brian Hughes out of Cincinnati serves it into the net. Our score is IPFW 25, Ohio State 21. Game 1, best of 5. Cowan Lundeen to serve for the Dons. Jump serve in the air. Klein digs it out. Matthews the other way for Meski, and that's dug out by Plisky. Oliveira is dug out. Meski again, and Lundeen got a hand on it.
Nice
Collins
dig
at the net, and it's off the top of the net, and IPFW gets the point. Don stayed with it that time, Steve.
That's right. It's a nice dig by Lundeen. He was way deep and way wide there playing defense. Plisky with that dig probably just couldn't get out of the way of it. I mean, he was right on the end line, got hit sort of in the chest with that ball. He probably just couldn't get out of the way, otherwise that probably would have been out of bounds. But Collins again going off hands.
Matthews on a short set. Draven knocks it home.
I tell you, Draven is doing something really well. He's getting up on time. He's in the air waiting for the set. Right now he's just faster than Oliveira. Oliveira's one step behind him, and that's why Draven's getting all these exceptional kills.
Matthews serving for the Buckeyes. The set up for Macias, and it's off the fingertips of Draven. IPFW now closest to within 3 points of winning game 1. They are up 27-22, and Collins will serve.
And in the past few matches, the Dons have had some trouble breaking serve out of that rotation with CJ on the right and CJ on the left and Collins on the right. But there they get it right away.
Stevens hits the top of the net. Collins digs it out. Lundeen setting up Macias. Little dink shot. Buckeyes keep it alive. Oliveira at the net. Finds the open court. 28-22 IPFW. And Ohio State calls their second timeout here in game 1. They are just, the Dons are 2 points away from taking a 1-0 lead.
And Oliveira is doing a great job for the Dons tonight so far. He's got 5 kills on 7 swings. He's hitting .714, and that's an unexpected offensive boost from a position they don't normally rely on.
Well, overall, Dons are doing quite well. Join Coach Arnie Ball on College 5 for the Arnie Ball Show with highlights and perspective from the head coach and his guest. Host Mark Franke opens up the show. It is seen Wednesdays at 7:30, Fridays at 6:30. Again, it's the Arnie Ball Show. Catch it right here on College Access Channel 5.
Well, I mean, they see a very crafty play by CJ. I mean, he didn't really have much that he could do with that set at all, and he made the most of it. And then you see Oliveira just getting up and winning that joust.
And the other thing, too, IPFW is finding the open court. They're battling at the net, but the players up front tall enough where they're seeing the open spots and they're delivering the ball there. Good look at this big crowd here tonight.
Oh, it's crowded, all right. If you're watching on TV, we appreciate it, but you might want to come down here because it's a lot of fun in this gym right now.
Collins with the tough serve. Matthews setting up Meski, blocked by Macias. And Matthews unable to get to it. And now it is game point, IPFW.
And the Dons are classically a very good blocking team. Every year you can count on them being a good blocking team. And so far in game 1, they're showcasing it as best it's been all season here at the Gates Center.
IPFW faithful on their feet, and Collins had a little too much juice there. Served it a bit long. It's a service error. The Buckeyes stay alive at least for the moment. They're down 29-23. And now we're going to have a substitution. Brett Verson, a 6'5" junior from Centerville, Ohio, comes on the floor. Robbie Klein, number 13, out of Cincinnati. Moeller High School, known more for their high school football teams. Oh, good serve right off the fist of Collins. It'll go on the books as an ace.
Well, you know, they're facing 5 game points here, Ohio State is. And it's the chances of them actually coming back in this match is slim, but it's possible. But right now, what they're trying to do is just pick up momentum. They're trying to play at 1 point at a time, and an ace is a good way to get that started.
Another good serve by Klein. Lundin for Macias. Game 1 goes to IPFW. Macias with the kill off the hand of Daniel Matthews. Volleyball win game 1, 30-24. We will take a timeout. Get ready for game number 2. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on College 5 Sports.
I've gone away to a college where the class size is small.
I've gone away to a college with a beautiful campus.
I've gone away to a college that cares about diversity.
I've gone away to a college where I get to live in my own apartment instead of living in a dorm room.
I've gone away to a college that really isn't that far away at all.
I go to IPFW.
IPFW.
I go to IPFW.
To find out more about college life at IPFW, go to our website. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
What's it like when you hear your calling? Will you remember where you were? Will you ignore it? Or will you listen? What if it calls you to go halfway around the world? To share your skills? To serve people you've never met? To do things you never thought you could? What will you do when you hear your calling? Peace Corps, life is calling. How far will you go?
Mom, Dad, you know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Here You Gate Sports Center. Along with Steve Florio, this is Mike Boz. Game 1 of our best-of-5 match featuring the 5th-ranked IPFW Volleyball, the 10th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes in the book. Steve, we're looking at game point.
Yeah, Macias doing what he does well, closing out the game. He's a finisher, and he's got it.
Now, game 1 numbers. IPFW hit 464. Ohio State just 194. C.J. Macias with 6 kills, but you mentioned it a few moments ago. Vitor Oliveira chipping in with 5.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge stat, especially because he's 5 of 7 on his swings. He's hitting 714. And the importance of that is, again, to speak in baseball terms, you know, every baseball team has, you know, the leadoff man, the heart of the order, and then the bottom of the order. Everyone on the team has their functions. You know, the bottom of the order is usually your catcher, your pitcher, your shortstop, you know, guys who are more important on the field. Well, in volleyball, and in IPFW's world, you know, you got your big sluggers in Macias and Josh Stewart, and those are the guys you really lean on for offense, send your outside hitters. And Oliveira's sort of in there as more of a role player. Block, get up, pull the block, do all the little things that don't get caught up in the stats. So when you get 5 kills out of him, that's like getting a couple homers out of the bottom of the order in baseball.
Josh Cowan serving up for IPFW, but off the touch, Ohio State gets the first point of game number 2.
You know, and it's not that Oliveira's not capable of doing it, because we see he is, but he's just not relied on. You know, Macias is relied on, Stewart's relied on. He's not. So when you get that out of him, it's a bonus.
Lundin setting up Oliveira, but it is blocked at the net by Lane Dravin.
Now, Ohio State, Vitor's got their attention. Now they're going to stay with him. But he's done what a good middle does, is he's gotten his kills early. Now Ohio State has to recognize him and stay with him, and that should open up some single blocks on the outsides.
At the net, Oliveira dug out by Meske. Stevens, a little bit long. Ohio State asking for the point, and they say no. Again, our officials tonight, the up official is Brian Hemmelgarn, and the down official is Elizabeth McHugh. 2-1 our score. Ohio State with the lead. Vitor Oliveira for IPFW with the serve.
Great serve.
At the top of the net, it's play on.
Covered his own block. Another chance for Ohio State.
Meskey blocked by Macias at the net. C.J. Macias.
You know, watching that block in person is impressive. I mean, he had to jump out, chase that ball. All his momentum is carrying him towards out of bounds. Typically, that ball is going to be a kill going off his block and going the way he's traveling. But C.J. does a great job of contorting his body and turning the ball back in bounds.
Again, Meskey dug out, but not good enough by Oliveira. Buckeyes win the point. They go up 3-2.
Now, Oliveira can contribute in a couple areas. He's obviously doing it on the block and with defense. With offense. But last year, he wore the libero jersey a few matches for the Dons. So he's got some ball control back there. It's another bonus to get out of the middle.
Robbie Klein serving from left to right on your television screen. Lundeen setting up Brock Ulrich. And
that's a hitting error by Brock Ulrich. They call 4 hits. It never cleared the net. And that's, the Dons only had 3 hitting errors in game 1, and that's one of the reasons for their success. They had been smart with their shots. Macias was doing a good job of handling tough sets.
Good jump serve by Klein. Lundeen going to set up Macias. Oh, CJ strong, too strong. And IPFW calls a quick timeout. They are trailing Ohio State 5-2 here in game number 2.
You know, and it's a great timeout by Coach Ball, you know, because his team is playing differently than they did in game 1. They're struggling just a little bit on the pass, but his hitters are not making those good choices.
Well, right now, IPFW has work to do. And we'll be back momentarily. You're watching IPFW Volleyball and College Football.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
Again, a good look at members of the crowd here tonight at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Right now, Steve Florio, Ohio State, you mentioned a moment ago making adjustments from game 1 to game 2, and they are up 5-2.
Well, they're serving tough, and they're playing good defense. They're a little more aggressive on the block this game. But the Dons are not making the good choices they were making in game 1. They're not putting the ball in play and then relying on the rest of their game to save the point.
Well, the timeout works to the favor of IPFW there. Service error by Robbie Klein.
You know, Dons have 2 hitting errors already, and they had 3 in all of game 1, so they've almost come close to evening their hitting errors.
C.J. Macias with the serve. Matthews setting up. Draven.
Draven's really effective right now on the out of the middle there. That's his 6th kill on 8 swings, so he's matching his opponent there at the net in Oliveira.
And now Draven will toss it up. Good serve, too good for IPFW. I think it goes in the books as an ace.
That's definitely an ace.
And it is now 7-3 in favor of Ohio State.
Let's see if he goes after it again. He got an ace there. Let's see if he tries for 2. See how much he puts on this.
Up in the air.
Really steams it down the line. It's a great serve.
Free ball chance going to come up for Ohio State. All the Dons can do is get it back over the net. Matthews setting up Stevens. Plisky digs it out. But the Dons cannot get it over the net. And now it is 8-3. Biggest Buckeye lead of the night in either game.
Yeah, a little communication breakdown on the Dons side, but they pull it together in the middle and talk it out. We'll see if they fix it here. Plisky's really hugging that sideline where Draven has been smoking it down the line.
And this time he goes right in the middle at Josh Cowens instead. That's another service ace. That will have Varney Ball make a substitution. Jared Quillen will make his first appearance of the night. He's a 6'4" senior from LaGrange, Ohio. And right now the Buckeyes are on a 4-0 run.
This game is so much about serving and passing, and here's a great example of this run here.
Service error on Ohio State. In game one, the Buckeyes had 6 service errors.
Well, Javen really helps his team out there, smoking a couple aces, one cross court, one down the line, giving the Dons all they can handle, and there's a good example of when you're serving tough, you're breaking down the other team's serve receive, making it hard for them to attack.
The corkscrew serve of Brock Ulrich. Stevens, dug out by Macias. Lundeen for Stewart. Back-to-back points for IPFW, and they close the gap. They now trail Ohio State 9-5.
That's a great dig by Macias. Of course, he dug the ball, it went up, so everything's good. But the quality of the dig, it was very high. It was settable. It was a little off the net. It allowed Lundeen to run his middle still. It's a great dig.
Matthews mistiming the set for Albertson, and IPFW now has run off 3 points in a row of their own.
And a little some mistiming, misconnection there. It happens sometimes in the middle, and that's something you haven't seen too much of on the Don side. Lundeen's just really in sync with his hitters.
Brock Ulrich, another good serve. Pete Hansen now has a concerned look on his face.
And again, the passing breaks down now on the Buckeye side.
And Ohio State decides to call the first of their 2 allotted timeouts. Their lead is shrunk to 2, 9-7. For tickets to IPFW athletic events, call 260-481-6000, or you can visit the IPFW Athletics website. It's www.gomastodons.com. IPFW game tickets are available for both individual events and mini-season packages. Again, the phone number is 260-481-6000, or go online at www.gomastodons.com. See a replay here.
There's the misconnection. See, it was not such a great pass, and Matthews had to set that ball from from about 2-3 feet behind the 10-foot line. That is a very, very difficult play. I mean, it's doable, but it's difficult. Actually, we saw Lundeen connect with Stewart on an almost identical play.
What a camera shot. What a great community here in Fort Wayne that supports IPFW volleyball.
Yeah, it's almost at the point where it's standing room only here at the Gates Center. It's just a really festive environment right now. And there's a corkscrew serve.
The setup, Mormeski, and off the touch, the Buckeyes finally stop the IPFW run.
Well, nice timeout by Coach Hansen, and he gets results right out of it. Anytime you call timeout, you want to hopefully come right back and get the ball back, and he does so with his team there.
Meski serving, he's got 6 kills. Lundeen, oh, the change of pace shot. Everyone thought Lundeen was going to set up Stewart, and instead, Cowan Lundeen became the attacker himself.
You know, it's a great attack, but Coach Hansen is going to be looking at his fellas saying that doesn't happen twice. Anytime a setter sneaks one through, you just want to bolster defense next time and not let it happen twice.
Matthews for Stevens. Look out! Lundeen went right into our colleague Ken Horman doing this match on ESPN Radio 1380.
And down official Elizabeth McHugh did all she could to get out of the way. He's fast. He's fast.
I think Kent's breathing a sigh of relief. Sports Information Director Rudy Jovich is breathing a sigh of relief. Sam Stevens just uncorked a wicked serve.
And I'll tell you what, Sam Stevens uncorked a heck of a line shot and then a heck of a serve. I mean, these Buckeyes, there's a lot of fight in them right now. I mean, of course they're supposed to be, but you know, if you could see what we see right here, we're sitting right in front of them, and they are fighting hard.
Stevens with a jump serve. Oh, it's a good one. Ulrich to Lundeen. Lundeen for Macias. Off the hands of Dan Meski.
This is shaping up to be a great match. You got Colin Lundeen diving into the scores table. You got Stevens ripping the serve with all his might. Big kills, big swings, great defense. It's a great match so far.
NCAA Division I volleyball at its best. Lundeen with a good serve. Matthews setting up Klein. Quillen digs it out. Jarrett on the putback. Oh, the Buckeyes keep it alive. Free ball chance coming up for IPFW. Macias, oh, and he hit it too long. And putting it away is John Albertson. There's a chance that went astray for IPFW, Steve.
Yeah, that's that's a tough break. I mean, they got the free ball. It was a nice job by Quellen to put the ball in a spot where they could get another shot at it. And you just have the overpass on the free ball. That, you know, that should never happen, but it does sometimes.
Macias on the left side puts it home. Sam Stevens couldn't catch up to that shot.
Well, it's a nice job. I mean, Macias is the one who made that overpass on the free ball, costing his team the point there. But, you know, a great leadership quality is, you know, just forgetting about the mistake and getting the next ball, and there you see Macias do it. He gets a big kill to get his team the ball back.
Float serve by Jared Quillen. Daniel Matthews. Here's a dig by Lundeen. Oliveira going to go back to Macias, and it's blocked at the net. Tag teaming it was Matthews and Draven.
Well, they had a nice block up. Macias is just trying to cut it around that block, and he just hit a little too tight of an angle.
Buckeyes up 14-10. Matthews, their setter, with the serve, and he serves it long. Another service error for Ohio State.
And the Dons need to capitalize on this. Before the game gets to 15, they need to take a point or two.
Vitor Oliveira with a little float serve. Matthews for Draven, and that's blocked by Stewart. Buckeyes keep it alive. Here's Klein. Blocked again. Stewart and Ulrich team up. 14-12, the Dons to within 2.
And that's right now, you know, Josh Stewart is, he's got 3 kills. But what they really need out of him right now is a few blocks. The way they're going to get back in this game right now is with blocking. They're down by 2. They need a couple blocks.
Matthews for Klein, and the Dons couldn't quite block it cleanly. Ohio State gets the point. Their lead increases rather to 3. 15-12, and now here is Robbie Klein, number 13.
But the Dons with a big blocking effort there in that service attempts.
Another service error by Klein. He not happy with himself.
No, and again, if the Dons just do what they did last possession, and that's just get a point before they lose the serve, they'll be back tied up before you know it.
Macias with a jump serve. Setting up. Oh, Draven. Is it in? Yes, it is.
And the Dons don't have a whole lot of an answer for Draven. I mean, they turned him around the last time, but they didn't block him down, and he comes back with a fierce kill.
Draven, as we said, a 6'8", fifth-year senior out of Pittsburgh. And he's going to toss it up. Good serve. Lundeen setting up Macias. Oh, yes. CJ warming up now, Steve. I think that's kill number 9.
You know, and that's a great kill because it wasn't the best pass. Lundeen put up an excellent set, allowing Macias to fly into the ball with his great vertical, and he just smokes it right between the block. Once he gets that ball past the block, it's almost undiggable. It has so much velocity on it.
Brock Ulrich serving it up for IPFW. Meske, yes.
And a nice set by Matthews there. Really did a good job of hiding where he was going to put the ball. And last second flicked it behind him, causing the block to be off guard.
Dan Meske now will serve it up for Ohio State. Ulrich digs it up. Lundeen for Stewart. And that little windmill type of swing by...
Thank goodness for his long arms. Because there you see that's, again, the setter being pulled off the net and still trying to force that 31 ball. It's not an easy set to make. And so it's nice to have a middle who can get to just about anything.
Stewart with 4 kills, serving it up. Albertson serving it long.
Well, you see, I think what we have right now is Matthews and Stevens are asking if there was a touch on the ball to see if when they hit it, the IPFW block touched it. And the official is saying, no, there was no touch. They really, really wanted that call, though, which, you know, when players want it that bad, a lot of times there might have been. Touches is sometimes really hard to pick up, especially if they're really, really just fingertips.
Stewart serving to tie this game up at 17. Oh, turnabout fair play.
That's right.
As Matthews saw what Lundeen did a short while back.
Matthews is fired up. He didn't like the call. He's fired up. He's taking the game into his own hands. And you know what? He's an upperclassman setter, and he's playing like one right now. He's playing with a lot of fire.
Sam Stevens serves it into the net. Oh, he grabbed that ball and he wanted to unload it, Steve.
Well, the emotion in the Buckeyes right now is really, I really love it. I mean, they are intense. Every little thing matters to them, and that's great. That's why they're up 18-17 right now.
Cowan Lundeen.
And you know that the Dons also are fighting for every point. So we'll just have two juggernauts in the volleyball world just banging heads right now, playing with all their hearts. Really great.
John Albertson to serve for Ohio State. Lundeen setting up Quillen. That's dug out by Matthews. Meske going to set up Stevens, and his shot is long. Point IPFW. Volleyball will serve to try to tie this one up at 19 apiece.
Well, Stevens is, to me, he looks like he's playing on pure emotion, pure guts right now. He's trying with everything he has, and sometimes you need to throw just a little bit of smarts into your shots.
Well, Jared Quillen needed a little bit more oomph on that serve as he served it into the net. And IPFW service error. And here is Daniel Matthews with the jump serve. Good one, too.
Great pass.
Lundeen for Ulrich. Dug out by Stevens. Matthews setting up Meske. Nice save by Cowan Lundeen. Here's C.J. Macias.
Wow.
And that is an IPFW point.
Wow, that's all I have to say about that. That's not really Lundeen's ball, picking it up where he did. But you know what? It's everybody's ball in some sense. Every coach will say it's everyone's ball, and so you see Lundeen not waiting for who was supposed to play it. He's taking matters into his own hands.
Rivera with a float serve. Meske dug out by Quillen. Lundeen. Macias, left-hand shot hits the net. Ball still in play. Robbie Klein comes down with Ohio State.
Haven't seen Klein for a while, but that's a great swing.
Ohio State now increases their lead to 21-19, and Klein will serve.
That's one of the hardest shots to dig, is that line shot, especially when you hit it with at that pace.
Robbie Klein with 4 kills now on the night. Jump serve is a good one.
Great pass by Twiski.
Lundeen to Stewart. Yes, off the touch. Chemistry between Cowan Lundeen and Josh Stewart. Just as there's chemistry between Cowan Lundeen and C.J. Macias.
Yeah, you know, he set them all last year. He's setting them this year. They're well versed.
C.J. Macias will serve. Matthews setting up Stevens. Yes.
I tell you, Matthews is putting the ball on the money right now. When your hitters can just pick and choose their shots, that's when you know you're putting up a good ball. And his hitters have all their angles right now, and they're choosing one of the best ones to hit, and that's the line shot.
Stevens with 6 kills. Ohio State up by 2. Lane Draven to serve. Oh, service ace.
And Draven, I think that's his 3rd ace in this game alone, just causing so much trouble for the Dons.
Well, now the lead is 3, 23-20.
You know, the key, right under the keys to this game is stopping this particular server and stopping him right now.
Well, service error helps do that. It's the Buckeyes' worst enemy right now is the service error. 23-21 is our score. Ohio State with the lead. Brock Ulrich to serve for IPFW. Rhythmic chant here in the Gate Center. The corkscrew serve. Dug out by Stevens. Matthews setting up Klein.
Here's a chance.
Lundeen for Stewart. Josh Stewart picks up kill number 6.
And that's the little things that don't show up in the statistics is what are the Buckeyes doing with the balls that are out of system and what are the Dons? The Dons are making really crafty, smart shots when they're out of system. The Buckeyes are sort of just chucking over free balls or making hitting errors.
Just wide is the serve by Ulrich. IPFW again with a chance to tie the game, and instead they go behind 24-22. And Meske to serve for the Buckeyes. Jump serve. Dug out by Ulrich. Lundeen going to set up Stewart. But they keep it alive. Albertson does. Here's Stevens. Blocked at the net by Lundeen. Matthews setting up Meske. Yes. Van Meske with a kill. And this may be the most important point of this second game coming up. Well, we'll find out what this point is. Arnie Ballwether calls a timeout.
It's a good timeout. It's plenty of room left to come back in this game, and you don't want to let them get too close to game point.
25-22 our score. Ohio State leading IPFW. Game 2 of our best-of-5 match. IPFW won game 1 30-24. Both of these teams shooting for win number 9. As we get a look at the replay,
and
Steve.
That's an out-of-system ball when there's trouble. You can't get a big attack, and all they do is sort of just pop it over into the middle of the court. That's not good enough, not at this level. I mean, it's not ideal to be attacking a ball from the ground, but it happens sometimes if there's a good dig or a good serve. You got to do something better with the ball. You got to put it in a place that's hard to pick up, take it to the corners, put it in between diggers. But make the most, try and get the other team to have a bad pass. And that's something you've seen the Dons do. You've seen Macias do it with some tips and roll shots. Jared Quellen did it. He had a triple block on him and cut the ball back to zone 2 and got a player on the ground diving for the ball, and the IPFW got a free ball out of that.
Yeah, let's see what happens now. Meskey to serve. Buckeyes up by 3.
Good pass.
Lundeen for Stewart.
When you let the Dons get in system and Stewart's front row, it's almost a guaranteed kill.
Yep, substitution. Josh Stewart is going to sit down.
Yeah,
Jason Yost coming in.
In comes Yost to serve. Lefty serve. You don't see it very often. This could cause trouble for the Buckeyes. He just needs to get it in. Last chance he had, he missed it.
It's the top of the net, but gets over. Matthews setting up Stevens. Dug out by Ulrich. Lundeen to Macias. Off the touch. IPFW closes to within 1, 25-24.
Great dig by Ulrich. Really, really crucial. Fueling the comeback here. And then you have Oliveira, who checked in the front row. He hasn't had a kill this game after having 5 kills in the first game.
Oh, a miss hit by Jason Yost. Not exactly what Arnie Ball was looking for at 25, or should say 24-25.
But they do chip away a little bit in that service possession, and as long as they can get the ball back here, they can have a chance to tie it.
Stevens will serve.
Tough pass, very high, hard to handle.
CJ, and it is blocked at the net. I think Albertson's going to get credit for the block.
And Quellen knows he should have had that. He's a little disappointed with himself, but he's done a nice job for the Dons. But back in comes Collins after a little rest. Look for the Buckeyes to go right after Collins. He's cold, he's been out for a while, and they served him off the court to begin with.
And then you're seeing Sam Stevens serve from left to right. Ulrich digs it out. Lundeen going to set up C.J. Macias. Dug out nicely by Ohio State. Matthews to Meskey off the touch. And don't look now, but Ohio State is 2 points away from evening this match up at a game apiece.
And Meskey getting that high hands kill is sort of a delayed approach. I don't think the Dons saw him coming. It's a great, great, great dig there by Martin. By the way, he does a great job of digging balls hit down in front of him.
Lundeen, oh, little miss hit maybe?
Well, you know,
W gets the point.
The Buckeyes were ready for Lundeen that time. It's like I said earlier in the match, you know, the Buckeyes are going to let him, he got that one kill, they're not going to let him get another. And this time you see they jumped with him. But that's, now Lundeen's got to use that to advantage. If they're going to jump with him, when he sets the ball, he'll probably get a one-on-one situation for his hitters.
Good serve by Colin Lundeen. Matthews for Albertson, look out. Boy, Albertson has a smile on his face, and all of a sudden the Buckeyes are at a game point.
That's a serious, serious shot right there. He didn't have a block on him. Oliveira lost him. Couldn't stay with him. And he just had an open look. Buried that ball right at the 10-foot line.
Brian Hughes serving for game 2. It's the top of the net. Collins digs it out. Macias, and it's blocked. I believe Draven gets it. And Ohio State wins game 2, 30-25. Our match is even now at 1 game apiece. We'll take a break and come back with more IPFW volleyball in a moment right here on College 5 Sports.
Offers from other universities, but I wanted the best out of my college choice. I wanted a great education and the campus life to go with it. Student housing, Division I sports, I found it all right here at IPFW. Hey, this is my university, my life, so it's gotta feel right. I'm really glad I chose IPFW. I love it here. Go to their website.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Parents, there's something you can do to protect your kids from drugs and alcohol. Combine ground beef with egg, tomato sauce, breadcrumbs, and spices. Bake in an oven-safe pan at 350 for 50 minutes. Serve hot.
This is Jamie Lee Curtis. Children who eat dinner with their families are less likely to smoke, drink, or use drugs. So, have dinner together every day.
Delicious.
A message from CASA, the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse at Columbia University.
Warning, ruthless invaders are among us, and the future of fishing depends on stopping them dead. Only you can prevent invasive species from spreading before it's too late. Inspect, clean, and drain your boat, motor, and live wells, and properly dispose of invasive species on land, not back in the water. Stop these evil menaces from taking over and threatening our precious outdoor heritage. Inspect, clean, and drain. Do your part to halt the silent invasion.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils?
We only ask that you do your best.
And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Along with IPFW Women's Assistant Volleyball Coach Steve Florio, I'm Mike Maz. We are in the 10-minute break between games 2 and 3 of our match, featuring the 5th-ranked Volleyball of IPFW and the 10th-ranked Buckeyes of Ohio State. IPFW won game 1 30-24. Seemed to have everything going their way, Steve, but the Buckeyes showed why they're the 10th-ranked team in the country. They came back and won game 2 somewhat easily by a score of 30-25.
Yeah, I mean, the game's a little closer. Both games, game 1 and game 2, are a little closer than the scores show. Both teams are really playing very hard, and it's an error here, an error there that's making the difference right now in the match. It's opening up a 2-3-point lead, and then both teams are just sort of hanging on to that lead. Take, for example, Draven. I mean, he's been serving the ball so well in game 2. You know, he served 2-3 aces, and it just opens up enough gap there for the Buckeyes to hold on to the lead. The Dons made 3 more hitting errors in that game than they did in game 1. They had 6 in game 2 and only 3 in game 1, so they doubled the hitting errors. And it's just little things like that. You know, a hitting error here, a bad choice there, a big dig by the libero by the Buckeyes, or you know, a service run, and that opens up the lead, and then all it is holding on to it at that point.
We mentioned at the start of the telecast that IPFW was off to their best season start in school history. Starting out 8-0, the previous best mark to start the season was 6-0, set by the 1999 team. And I think that team, if my memory is correct, ended up going to the Final Four. It's kind of ironic that this year, the Final Four for men's volleyball is in where? Columbus, Ohio,
right,
at Ohio State University. I know the Buckeyes want to be there, the Volleyball want to be there, but an 8-0 start is awfully good.
Yeah, and it's an 8-0 start, and it's a really strong 8-0 start. They have not had an easy schedule, the Dons. They've had 2 wins, big, hard-fought wins over Loyola Chicago, who's a very highly ranked team and a very strong opponent. They have a win over Penn State, and it's a 3-game sweep. 2 wins over Stanford. I mean, this is not an easy schedule by any means so far, and so it's a very solid and commanding 8-0 start.
And coming into this match tonight, there were 3 common opponents that both Ohio State and IPFW had played. Both teams defeated Clark College from Dubuque, Iowa. Both teams played Penn State. The Volleyball won. The Buckeyes lost last Friday night. And both teams have played St. Francis of PA. It was a season opening match for IPFW, and they won in 3. And Ohio State, has played them not once but twice.
Yeah.
Won once in 3 and the other time in 4. But Ohio State, 8-1, not a bad team.
No, not a bad team at all. I mean, and they're showing it right here. there's not that much of a difference between the number 5 Dons and the number 10 Ohio State Buckeyes. I mean, like I said, it's a point here, a point there, a big play here, a big play there.
We're going to look at some replays from games 1 and 2. Again, IPFW in the white, and there you see Josh Stewart. Ohio State in the red.
Let's see Collins with the big pass, but then getting blocked. Service ace. And this is game 1 we're looking at. Here we're going to see a nice back set. The block has to chase. And there's one of those crafty shots I'm talking about. That's the one Macias sort of slipped on, and he just popped it in still and got good results. Good angle there by Oliveira.
Setting it up in the middle, and here's Macias again on the right side.
That was the game point. No, that was not game point, excuse me. There's a great cutback shot by Stewart. He was sort of quiet in game 1, but came alive in game 2.
Now, as we watch these highlights,
still game 1 here.
You wonder what adjustments. You know, we saw Pete Hansen make adjustments from game 1 to game 2. Now, what will Arnie Ball do from game 2 to game 3?
Yeah, well, I mean, you might look to see Arnie Ball try and get a little bit of a better blocking matchup, get Oliveira completely off Draven, because right now Oliveira's with Draven for 2 to 3 rotations, I think. So you might see Coach Ball try and match up. Might see Coach Ball try and match up Josh Stewart against Draven. And there's Draven getting a kill right there. I mean, he's just been on fire this match.
Especially in game 2.
There's a little miscommunication. Stewart didn't know who was going to play that, and all along it probably should have been him. Misconnection on a very tough set there.
Ball high up in the air, and there's Stewart coming down. The elevation by Dan Miskey on his serve.
Yeah, he was smoking it. That's the one thing the Buckeyes did really well. I mean, they missed a good amount of serves in game 2, but the ones that went in were extremely challenging. So that's that high risk, high reward we're talking about.
Here are some of the numbers. Kills, Ohio State leads 29-28. Hitting percentage, 270 to 352. Assists, 28-25 in favor of the Buckeyes. IPFW is out blocking them 7-4, and they're out digging Ohio State 18-15.
Right, so what's not showing up on these stats is you're not seeing the service aces on these stats. You're not seeing the shank passes. Ohio State's serving a little tougher and getting better results at least.
We will take a 60-second break and then come back, get ready for game 3. This match even at 1 game apiece. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on College 5 Sports.
Salam.
Salam.
Ewa.
Ride. Mir.
Shanti.
We all want the same thing. Peace. And Rotary clubs are making it happen. Through international scholarships for young people to promote peace and understanding around the world. Rotary. Humanity in motion.
Pizza! I must eat. Wait, what is this? Capsicum annum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa?
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man.
Funny.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Diabetes is a killer. After I was diagnosed, I didn't feel sick, so I didn't listen to my doctor. Then it struck. I had a heart attack, then a stroke, and I was only 49.
People with diabetes are 2 to 4 times more likely to suffer a stroke than people without diabetes. And many who survive are severely disabled.
Don't let diabetes destroy your life.
Learn how to reduce your risk of stroke. Call for your free diabetes survival guide.
A college education should be more than textbooks and classroom learning. On this month's IPFW Up Close, we're going to focus on 2 very different but important aspects of a student's education. We'll talk with Professor Frank Balladino about his ongoing research with endangered leatherback turtles in Costa Rica. And we'll go in a completely different direction and get the inside scoop on intramural sports programs on campus and find out why they're so popular. Join me for IPFW Up Close Sundays at noon on CATV5.
Welcome back, everybody. Game 3 of our best-of-5 match about to begin. Number 5, IPFW. Number 10, Ohio State. Each has won a game. Daniel Matthews serving it up for the Buckeyes. We are underway here in Game 3. C.J. Macias. There is a dig by Ohio State. Matthews for Stevens into the net. Point IPFW.
And that set was just a little too far out in front for Stevens. And there it is. I mean, that's a choice Stevens has to make. I mean, that set is not really hittable. He's needed to make a better choice and still just ripping it into the net.
C.J. Macias with the jump serve for IPFW. Matthews going to set up Robbie Klein, and Klein hammers it home. We're tied 1-1.
I tell you, Matthews is doing a nice job for his pin hitters. He's getting that ball. He's getting that ball right on the pin, really giving his hitters a chance to swing line. And when you can swing line, you're going to get hands and get a kill maybe. You're going to get it clear down the line like Klein just did.
Whoa, Klein serving that ball as if he wanted to serve it to the Hefner Field Soccer Complex. A wee bit long.
And that's just a mishit.
Crowd got a kick out of it. No, Robbie wasn't happy with it.
No.
2-1 IPFW. Brock Ulrich with the corkscrew serve. Stevens digs it out. Matthews going to set up Meske. Blocked at the net by Collins and Stewart. Dons have to keep it in play. Macias off
man.
the hands of Matthews. C.J. Macias with kill number 12.
And that's just concentration there by Lundin. That ball hit the speakers above the court, bounced around, ricocheted a few times, came down, and Lundin was still able to keep his focus and set Macias up. And that's playing out of system right there.
Service error by Ulrich. That is service error number 10 committed by IPFW tonight. And Dravin will serve it up for Ohio State. They trail 3-2 here in Game 3.
And if Dons catch a break, in my opinion, even though it's early on in the game, Dravin can cause lots of trouble, as we've seen with his serve. He mishits it, and the Dons catch a break. Now let's see if Josh Stewart can pop one in and get them going.
That's service error number 13 for Ohio State. Float serve by Stewart. Matthews going to set up Meske. Dug out by Lundin. Oliveira going to Collins. And the block is just long.
Now, what the Dons do is when the setter digs the ball, Lundin, obviously he then can't play the next ball,
right,
which is typically what he does. He plays the second ball. So their middle has to set the ball, and Oliveira, great ball control, puts up a beautiful set.
Matthews again setting up Meske. And that time Meske found the open court in play. And he picks up his 10th kill of the night.
And Matthews is showing me tonight he's really effective hiding what he's going to do with the ball until the very last second. Then he flicks it back or forward and gets his hitters just one step on their blocker.
Lundin for Collins, and it's blocked. Tag team there. Matthews and Albertson combine, and Ohio State closes to within one. It's now 5-4 in favor of IPFW.
And Collins is a power hitter. He just wants to drive it, drive it, drive it. And right there, the set gave him only one shot to hit. That was a hard cross-court shot. The block knew it, and they just clamped down on it.
Good look at Dan Meske, 6'1" senior. Off the top of the net, it's in play. Lundin to Macias. And let's see, they're going to say 4 hits on, I believe, on IPFW.
Yeah, 4 hits on IPFW. It's a sort of a tough set for Macias to hit. He tried to smoke it, get it just off the top of the tape, but missed it. And the Buckeyes are just serving the cover off the ball right now.
Just long is Meske's serve.
And again, it's that high risk, high reward. I mean, they're gonna accept a certain amount of errors because they're gonna expect a certain amount of aces or shanked passes. And they're getting the results.
Good serve by Cowan Lundin. Daniel Matthews for Stevens. Macias tried to get a quick hit. Instead, Meske comes up with a kill in the deep part of the court. We're tied at 6. And
And right now you have Con Lundin as setter and floor captain for the Dons, speaking to the up official. And what he's doing is he's questioning the judgment calls. You're not really allowed to question judgment calls, but he's asking the official, why haven't you called a double on any of these contacts? And both sides have had their share of ball handling errors, or what could have been ball handling errors. So the official at least is consistent in the fact that he's not made any calls yet.
Well, we are tied 6-6. Teams split games 1 and 2. Stevens serves it up. Oliveira off the Lundin set. Hit it where Messi couldn't get it.
And that's, they need Oliveira to come back to life. Now he's not matched up at all with Draven. They did get Stewart on all 3 rotations against Draven, so should see Oliveira open back up again.
A wide serve by Josh Cowens. That is his 3rd service error of the night. And again, we are tied this time 7-7. Albertson to serve for the Buckeyes. Lundin for C.J. Macias.
It's a good dig by Matthews.
Albertson going to set up Stevens. That's dug out by Lundin.
It's a better dig by Lundin.
Josh Collins, off the touch? No. They're asking for a touch, and they're not going to get it.
Well, neither Lions judge signaled for it, and the up official and down official didn't see it, so they're not going to get the call, even if there was one. A lot of times you got to rely on those Lions judges to make those calls, but sometimes they're just really hard to see.
Float serve by Albertson. Lundin for Oliveira. Somehow dug out by Matthews. Meski off the touch. Buckeyes increase their lead to 9-7. Ernie Ball calls a timeout. Again, 9-7 our score. We'll take a break. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on College 5 Sports.
I've gone away to a college where the class size is small.
I've gone away to a college with a beautiful campus.
I've gone away to a college that cares about diversity.
I've gone away to a college where I get to live in my own apartment instead of living in a dorm room.
I've gone away to a college that really isn't that far away at all.
I go to IPFW.
IPFW.
I go to IPFW.
To find out more about college life at IPFW, go to our website. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Back at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center, along with Steve Florio, I'm Mike Miles. We are in Game 3 of our best-of-5 match. Number 5, IPFW, won Game 1 over number 10 Ohio State, 30-24. Buckeyes return the favor in Game 2, 30-25, and they lead Game 3, 9-7. Head coach Ernie Ball, not a happy camper right now, Steve.
No, I mean, he feels like he's getting the short end of the stick with the no calls by the official. His team has made a few hitting errors at bad times, and so he's a little fired up on sort of for all different reasons.
Oliveira hit that ball hard, perhaps a little bit out of frustration, but he gets the kill, and the timeout works to perfection for IPFW.
That's right. That's a great timeout by the Dons. And, you know, they're playing with a lot of emotion right now, too, sort of the way the Buckeyes were. It's sort of like whichever team feels like they're being pushed, they fight back a little harder.
Robbie Klein is blocked at the net by Stewart and Macias. The Buckeyes keep it alive. Free ball chance coming up for IPFW. Stewart, dug out by Stevens. Meski, dug out by Oliveira. Back and forth we go. Stewart, again, using those long arms, comes down with the point. We're tied 9-9.
You know, a nice job by Stewart. The first set he had a chance to swing on was a little too low, and if he swung with all his might, he would have made an error. So nice job by him to just punch it over and then let his team try and win the ball back. And they make a great dig and are able to run him again, and he makes the most of the second set.
Matthews again becomes the attacker rather than the setter. Second time tonight that Daniel Matthews has turned the tables. Ohio State retakes the lead 10-9.
And Matthews is just playing right now. He's playing his heart out right now. I mean, he is fired up. If you can catch his facial expressions after plays when his team doesn't get the point or when they do get the point, he is just really fired up. Right now, he just wants to serve. He's waiting. He's ready to fly. And we have Coach Ball getting a yellow card right now.
Yeah, and explain to our viewers the yellow card, please.
Well, the yellow card's a warning. The next time he'll get a red card, which will cost his team a point. So the yellow card's just a warning saying next time I have to talk to you, you're going to get the red card. Well, Coach Ball, you know, is really, really unhappy with the officiating right now, and that's why he got the yellow card. He's letting the official know, and the official's getting a little tired of Coach Ball yelling at him.
Matthews with a jump serve. Lundeen for Stewart. That duo is teaming up well tonight. Josh Stewart now has, I believe, 10 kills. We're tied at 10.
You know, and that fired the crowd up. I mean, as soon as Coach Ball got the yellow card, the crowd started booing. You know, maybe that's what the Dons needed.
Macias, however, commits a service error.
There's no doubt the emotions on both sides of the net are running really high. It's making for a really, really great battle.
Robbie Klein to serve for Ohio State. In fact, it is now 12-10. Macias blocked by Stevens.
Nice cover by Plisky.
Ulrich from the other side, and it's blocked by Draven.
And you know, when Ohio State knows where the ball is going to be set, they're really, really effective. I mean, and that sounds silly to say. If you're a volleyball person, you know that if you can camp out on a hitter, you're going to have a good chance of blocking them. But Ohio State is making the most of every time they know where the ball is going to be.
Well, they have seized momentum. They are up by 3 here in game 3.
Nice pass by Brock.
Again, Stewart. Nice dig that time by Martin. And Stevens comes down with the kill.
Well, Martin, the junior libero, is making some big digs and some big times. That's a great dig. I mean, he had a flop onto his belly, still played it with his hands.
14-10 our score.
And the Buckeyes are really just serving laser beams right now.
Service ace on the line. 15-10.
And like I said, they'll accept a few errors if they're going to, in return, get a few aces, because aces, they can demoralize a serve receive. I mean, there's more behind an ace than just a point. You got the passer guessing now. Maybe you get in one of the players' heads.
Hits the net, and it's going to go in the books as an ace. Plisky couldn't catch up to it, and Ohio State is on a run.
It's right now it's completely because of Ohio State serving. And it's not that IPFW's serve receive is not good. They have a good, strong serve receive. It's just these serves would give any passing team trouble. Any passing team.
It's interesting, Steve, that Klein has taken a long time between serves, and finally he unloads a long one.
Well, you have 8 seconds, and he's making the most of them.
The service there makes our score Ohio State 16, IPFW 11. Brock Ulrich will serve for the Dons. And Ulrich tonight has 1 service ace to his credit.
And there's a shank pass for the Dons to try and take advantage of, and they do.
And a good block at the net. You had Cowan, Stewart, and Lundeen, and they covered the middle quite nicely. And now IPFW's run off 2 points in a row. They've closed the gap. It's now 16-12.
That's right. And the Dons are going to fire a couple serves over on their own as hard as they can. Here comes Ulrich. Good serve, but handled nicely.
Matthews for Klein, and Klein hits it into the net. It is 16-13. Momentum starting to change color from crimson and gray to blue and white. And Pete Hansen calls a timeout.
Well, he felt the momentum too, and he doesn't want it to pick up anymore.
16-13 our score. Ohio State with the lead here in game 3. Match even at 1 game apiece. It's a big weekend here at IPFW, Steve. Last night, the IPFW men's basketball team rallied from a 12-point halftime deficit and knocked off the best independent team in the country, North Dakota State, 72-69. The latest Mastodon scores and stats are now available on the World Wide Web by going to www.gomastodons.com. Check up on teams, players, and programs anytime you like. Again, the official Mastodon website, www.gomastodons.com. Mentioned last night a big win for the men's basketball team. The women's team ran into some trouble at North Dakota State. Tomorrow night, men's basketball returns here to the Gates Center. The Jackrabbits of South Dakota State come to town. A 7 p.m. tip, and that's a game that we'll be broadcasting here on College 5 Sports. So if you can't make it in person here to the Gate Center tomorrow night, tune in to College 5 Sports for IPFW men's basketball. Well, the timeout is over. Team's back on the floor, and Brock Ulrich ready to resume serving. Again, our score is 16-13. IPFW down by 3. Stevens,
Whoa.
wow.
You know what? He didn't have a block in front of him. Lundin committed to the middle along with Stewart, and again, Matthews is really tricky with his sets. Really hides them to the last second, and it's very effective. There you see Lundin, one of the best blockers on IPFW, even faked out, leaving Stevens with a very big open look.
Wayne Trevin serving for Ohio State. Again, Josh Stewart. And right now, IPFW going to go to that 6'8" Josh Stewart, their horse, so to speak. Stewart now 10 kills and 15 swings. He serves. Matthew setting up.
Good touch on the block. Look for the ball to go to Macias here.
You called it, Steve. Is it long? Yes, just a touch. Yeah, right idea. Arnie Ball pleading for the point, and he's not going to get it. 18-14 is our score.
Well, Coach Ball thought that the Buckeyes were in the net, and they missed calling the net.
Meske with a good serve. Lundin has to go a long ways for the set. Macias is blocked by Albertson. Lundin hits it wide.
And there's a little panic on the Don side. They're starting to do things a little out of character. They're starting to play a little panicked and forget what got them to be 8-0.
IPFW at this moment the only undefeated team left in Division I volleyball. Oliveira is blocked. I believe Stevens a good credit for the block. And all of a sudden the Buckeyes are up 20-14. And this crowd is a wee bit quiet.
Well, Plisky is struggling just a touch on the pass. He is an excellent serve receiver, so he could bounce back at any time. Ulrich does the best with that pass he could.
Macias, and it's long. And IPFW calls their second allotted timeout here in Game 3. They are down 21-14. Well, you're a coach, Steve. Put yourself in Arnie Ball's place, and what does he tell his team?
Well, first of all, he's going to get on CJ to put the ball on the court. I mean, CJ's their big gun, and you need him to come up big when they need him. And right now, more than ever, they need him to get those kills in clutch times. I mean, there's still plenty of game left to come back on, so, he wants his guys to settle down on serve receive. But when they can't get the ball to their middles and they got to run it to CJ's got to put the ball in play. So you can be sure that Coach Ball's going to tell his team that.
As our viewers saw the replay, we look at the numbers, and Ohio State in Game 3 is hitting .211. IPFW minus 45, 045. 7 kills and 8 errors and 22 swings.
Yeah, they're playing. They were playing so smart in Game 1, and Game 2 they sort of broke down a little bit. And now here in Game 3, they're just sort of wild, and they need to get in control. A lot of it has to do with the Buckeyes serving, though. Again, with each game, it almost seems with each rotation only gets tougher and tougher and tougher. And again, this is a very good IPFW serve receive. It's just they're serving the cover off the ball.
Dan Meske was long on the serve, so the Dons got what they wanted. A service error, and they get the serve back. They're down 21-15, and now they've got to execute offensively. Cowan Lundin will throw it up, and he hits it right into the net.
Lundin is frustrated. You could see he was frustrated with that last swing that he took when he hit it way out of bounds. He's trying to take the game in his own hands in any way he can.
Well, here is Sam Stevens, the 6'3", fifth-year senior out of Miami, Florida. Good serve. Lundin will set it up for Collins. It's a free ball. Dons keep it alive. Macias!
It's a good scrappy rally there. Plisky had a tough pass but recovered with a great dig. Plisky, let me remind you, is a freshman.
Yes.
And they seem to be going after him. And, one of the seniors on the team or a veteran upperclassman need to grab Plisky and say, yeah, it's okay, man. You've been great this first 8 matches of the season. Stay with it. Keep playing hard. You'll get it back.
Again, our viewers may not know that Mike Marisi was libero last year, out for the year with a knee injury. Robbie Klein comes back for Ohio State, and he just picked up his 6th kill of the night.
Again, another good set by Matthews, just sort of holding on, and then flicking it out just enough, with enough speed and enough deception to get a step on the block again. And look for them to keep trying to go after the freshman libero with their serve. They go after Josh Collins there.
Hughes into serve for Ohio State. Ulrich with the running start. Oliveira, yes! Big point for IPFW. Vitor Oliveira now with 9 kills tonight. IPFW closes to within 6, 23-17. And Jason Yorst will come in, and hopefully he can shake things up with that left-handed serve.
Well, you got Josh Stewart coming front row for the Dons. That's a good thing. Right now they need to run some points, and he can do it on both ends, blocking and hitting. So
it's the top of the net, dug out. Matthews there's a block at the net by Ulrich. Klein's hit is long. Crowd was up in arms, Steve.
Well, the crowd thought that they didn't get it over the net. They were looking for 4 touches from the official. And you know, Coach Ball's unhappy with the officiating. The crowd knows it, so the crowd's going to get on the official. It's a really volleyball savvy crowd here. It's one of the nice things playing here.
Good serve by Yorst. Matthews setting up Meske. Dug out by Lundin. Ulrich. It's dug out by Stevens. Macias. Here we go.
Swing.
Battle at the net. Stevens off the touch. And Ohio State will come away with the. Oh, they're going to replay it?
They're calling a replay, and the running track in the gate center sort of hangs over the playable area. And whenever a ball hits something like that hangs over playable area, if a player is in the vicinity of the ball, which IPFW had at least one player there to play it, they get it. They'll get a replay instead of an out-of-bounds call.
Let's see if IPFW can take advantage of it. No, they can't. Draven comes down with the kill.
It's been a little sort of quiet, but he comes through when it counts. Really having a heck of a game for himself. 8 kills on 13 swings.
Matthews with a good serve. Lundin for Macias. Hello. CJ Macias picks up kill number 14.
And you got to swing back, and there's plenty of game left. They're down by 5. It's 24-19.
And CJ Macias will uncork his jump serve.
Now, can he be as effective from the back row? Because they're going to go to him.
Instead, he serves it into the net. And now IPFW is doing in Game 3 what Ohio State did in Game 1, commit a number of service errors.
Number of errors in general. They need to just relax. They know that they got the talent. They just need to relax and work it out.
Klein returns the favor for Ohio State, and it's now 25-20. And here we are, Steve, at this point in Game 3. IPFW down by 5, and they, like you say, they need to take a deep breath and just play volleyball.
Now, the key is can they get their act together on the block, because they've been struggling a bit on the block. Matthews has been really deceptive, and the block has been biting.
Stevens, and what's the call? Point IPFW. Arnie Ball was happy, although I think somewhat sarcastically happy.
Yeah, definitely sarcastic.
Because the point goes to Ohio State. Let's put it that way.
He's been wanting some net calls, and she finally made a net call, even though it was against the Dons. Coach Ball acknowledging that she finally made a call. Tip off the net there.
Lundin for, that time Lundin and Stewart did not communicate. And now Ohio State is 3 points away from taking a 2-1 lead.
And they're playing with a ton of confidence and a ton of fire. Dons need to settle in and get something started here with the pass. Starts right here off this serve.
Treben serves it long. 27-21.
Well, anytime Treben misses a serve, I say you dodge a bullet, because he can really fire it up. Now here comes Dan McInerney to serve, and you know he's got a very unorthodox type of serve, and it could be quite effective. It's a jump float, but he's got this sort of little unorthodox approach to it. Take a look here. He sort of wiggles it around, sort of hits it real low. It's hard to read if you're a passer.
Let's see what happens. Matthews going to set up Albertson, and a short set usually means a point. And Albertson just picked up his third kill, and it's 28-21.
Again, down by 7. It's going to be hard to come back in this one with just 2 points left for Buckeyes to get to 30. And just want to get something started 1 point at a time. Plisky, they serve him. He has a little trouble.
C.J. Macias, yes. Off the touch. Like you say, Steve, 1 point at a time is 28-22, but I remember a match at Lewis, I believe it was now 3 years ago. IPFW was down 29-23 and ran the table and won the game. Cowan Lundino serve. The setup, and
there it is again.
Stevens says, not this time.
No, we saw that almost identical play a while ago. You have the setter setting from the middle there. He jumps, and he's got a couple kills, so Oliveira's got to jump with him, leaving a one-on-one situation for the blocker out there, and the blocker didn't even jump with Stevens. That's twice this game that Stevens had wide open looks.
Game point for Ohio State. Cowan Lundin setting up C.J. Macias. Dug out by Stevens. Back and forth we go. Meske going to set up Klein, and it's dug out by Plisky. Lundin going to go to Ulrich. Buckeyes keep it in play. Albertson finally says, that's it. Let's win game 3 off the touch. And Ohio State wins game 3 by a score of 30-22. They have taken a 2-1 lead in this match. Well, IPFW has yet to taste a defeat yet this year. To keep that record intact, they're going to have to win games 4 and 5. We'll see what happens in game 4. We'll take a break. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on College 5 Sports.
Up close, we're going to focus on 2 very different but important aspects of a student's education. We'll talk with Professor Frank Balladino about his ongoing research with endangered leatherback turtles in Costa Rica. And we'll go in a completely different direction and get the inside scoop on intramural sports programs on campus and find out why they're so popular. Join me for IPFW Up Close Sundays at noon on CATV5.
Each year, more than 145,000 Americans will be diagnosed with colon cancer. It's the second largest cancer killer in the United States, but it doesn't have to be. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and if found early enough, beatable. If you are over 50 or have a family history of colon cancer, speak to your doctor, get screened, and understand your treatment options. Heads up, Coach.
Visit mybluestar.org and pass it on.
Salam.
Salam.
Ewa.
Reader.
Kapayapaan.
Mir.
Shanti.
Yep, Changyok di.
We all want the same thing.
Peace.
And Rotary clubs
Sola.
are making it happen.
Lucky.
Through international scholarships for young people to promote peace and understanding
La Fe.
around the world. Rotary. Humanity in motion.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
Welcome back, everybody, to a filled-up Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. Along with Steve Florio, this is Mike Maz. IPFW, after winning Game 1, has lost Games 2 and 3. As you see a replay here. And Albertson puts the point away for the Buckeyes. And Steve, you mentioned early in Game 1 that this crowd was filling up, and you thought that we were going to get close to 2,000. Well, we've exceeded that number here tonight.
Yeah, we got 2,200 here tonight, and the Dons are going to need every last one of them because Ohio State came to play.
They sure did.
Now, we've seen the Dons down before. I mean, they're sort of the comeback kids this year. They were down 2-0 both matches against Loyola. As a matter of fact, one of the matches they were facing
match point in
and
Chicago.
They came back to win both those matches in 5. one here and one in Chicago. You know, a couple other matches where they've swept. I mean, they've had a nice lead on like Penn State, for example, or Stanford. But Stanford might have, I think in the Stanford match, one of the matches, they had like a 28, 24 lead in a game, and IPFW rallies back to win 30-28. Scores like that, 26-26, and Dons surge at the end. So the Dons, so far this season, have just sort of been pushing when their backs against the wall. They play their best, and so here they are, backs against the wall. Let's see if they remain consistent with that, with what I just said.
Well, let's see if these 2,246 fans can cheer this IPFW team on. Josh Collins will serve up game 4. And off the bat, it's going to be a free ball opportunity for Ohio State.
Look for Drevin to pull the block.
To Meskey, and Dan Meskey gets point 1 of game 4 for the Buckeyes.
Well, the Buckeyes overall are passing well, and their setter, Matthews, is just really distributing the ball beautifully, picking his hitters at the right time and putting those set on the money.
Matthews is it an ace or is it an error?
It's a service error. It's an overrule by the up official.
It was joy in red for one moment, but that has changed. Well, the scoreboard says no.
Well, it's got to be 1-1. It's got to be
1-1. It's got to be 1-1. Scoreboard says 2-0, but it's 1-1. As Vitor Oliveira is serving for IPFW. Pete Hansen says, "What's going on?" Meskey dug out by Lundeen, but Drevin hits it in the backcourt. And now our official scorer, Tommy Franke, is stopping things. She wants to get clarification.
Yeah, I don't think she saw the overrule, so she's just going to get it right, and that's a good thing. You want to take your time and get it right. Good job by her. What the Dons need to do right now is they need to pick their passing up. Like I said before, the Ohio State Buckeyes serving is ridiculously tough right now, and the Dons can't use that as an excuse. They're a good passing team, and they need to step it up just a little bit more here. They need to answer the call. And right now, it's pass a tough serve. Sort of like, again, go back to baseball. You might have a really good offensive team, and if a pitcher's hot, you got to find a way to hit.
Well, here we go. Robbie Klein serving for the Buckeyes, and again, it is a long serve, a service error.
You can sort of take it as like a pitcher just having one of those great days, almost unhittable. It's the same with the Buckeyes serving right now. It's a great day for them. They're really serving the ball, and the Dons, they just need to find a way to hit that pitch. They need to find a way to pass that serve.
Meskey, and the block is wide. 21 service errors on Ohio State now. But they lead game 4, 3-2. They lead the match 2-1. And Lane Drevin will serve.
Because along with those service errors go a lot of out-of-system passes, like that, for example.
Lundeen keeps it in play. Matthews for Meskey. And Stewart's block attempt is wide. And you talked about the emotion that Ohio State is exhibiting. It is in force right now.
And you see by the stats that the Buckeyes have 21 service errors, but what doesn't show up in the stats is errant passes that the setter has to go running for or has to set the ball from 15 feet away from the net and things like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, if we did have a stat on that, they greatly outnumber the errors.
Josh Stewart off the touch will stop the bleeding for IPFW. Stewart just picked up his 11th kill of the night. And he brings IPFW to within a point, 4-3. Jared Quillen is on the floor to serve. Little float serve. Matthews setting up Albertson. Ohio State is just playing with loads of confidence, Steve.
They are. Their passing is on the money. They're allowing Matthews to do what he wants with the ball almost every single possession, and he's a great setter, and he is really dishing it right now. If you're watching, you need to watch IPFW's block. They rarely are getting a double block on them.
Service ace.
And another service ace.
And that is the 10th service ace for Ohio State tonight. 6-3 our score. Buckeyes on top. And the 8-game winning streak, or 8-match winning streak by IPFW is definitely in jeopardy. Overplay. And
Lundin did everything he could. Just wasn't enough. That ball just went out of bounds, off the block, off of his hands, so it's Buckeyes ball.
You know, the matches that I've had a chance to see, I think this is the most tense I've seen IPFW.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They definitely look tense. They look almost afraid here to lose. Maybe they're feeling the pressure of that undefeated record, and they need not think about that. They can't be thinking, if any of them are thinking about the record right now, it's the wrong time.
Float stir for Josh Stewart. Matthews setting up Stevens, dug out by C.J. Macias. Lundin back to C.J. That's dug out. Klein.
Nice dig by
Quillen
Quillen.
with the dig.
Vitor calls him off the ball.
Collins, is the block good? Now wait a minute. Elizabeth McHugh is saying that there's an Ohio State player in the net. IPFW is going to get a break in the point. Pete Hansen, not sure he's happy with the call.
Well, what they want to know is when a down official calls the net, you want to, sort of a little coaching thing, you ask who was it. So you want to see if the official could point out who it was. If they do it right away, it sort of means, yeah, okay, they had their eye on it. If they sort of don't know, it makes the call look a little questionable. Big dig there by Josh Stewart.
Macias, block at the net, dig by CJ. Matthews going to be an attacker, and he found the open court. Left side left exposed, and Ohio State now goes up 8-5.
Oh, Matthews is playing with a lot of confidence right now. He can't do any wrong right now. And boy, if anybody's going to have a big game, you want your setter to. He can get the ball to anyone right now. He's making all the right choices on offense.
Well, let's see what IPFW does. Macias and CJ hammers it off of Klein, and it's now 8-6.
Gutsy. You know, one thing that Coach Ball likes to do is he likes to lean on his big gun when it's crunch time, and it's crunch time now. It's only 8-6. It's early in game 4, but let's face it, the Dons are down 2-1, and they need CJ to step up.
Good serve there. Meske off the touch, gets the point for Ohio State.
You know, and CJ's having a great match. He's hitting 16 kills. He's hitting 216, which is a pretty fair percentage. He's having a great match, but it's sort of like when you need your star player to score, you need him to score more than good. You need him to be great, and right here they need CJ to be great.
John Albertson serving for Ohio State. Josh Collins from the right side, off the hand of Meske.
That's a big kill because they struggle in that rotation. So to get out of it right away is good and move on and maybe start stringing some points here. Sort of a tough blocking rotation for the Dons. With the way Ohio State's been passing, they got a lot of good matchup here. They got Draven here.
Josh Collins with the serve. Klein on a dig shot. Quillen keeps it alive for the moment.
Good choice there by Vitor.
And Macias tried a little finesse shot, and it didn't work.
Got to put the ball in. It's got to be in bounds at the very least.
10-7 our score. Ohio State on top, and now Daniel Matthews, their setter, will serve. Good serve.
And
service ace.
The serve-receive struggles continue. And again, I want to point out that Ohio State is just serving really, really well. You know, any team would have trouble passing these serves right now. The Dons need to find a way, though. You know, they need to find a way.
Well, Lundin will set up Quillen, and he mishits it. It is now 12-7 Ohio State.
Quillen is in for Ulrich. It's a passing a passing move by coach, maybe to get a different serve receiver in there.
There's a service error, number 23. Well, IPFW just got a break, Steve. They're now down 12-8, and they have to start putting together a little run. And as you say, 1 point at a time.
That's right. They need a block here. They have a good blocking front row up with Stewart in there.
They set up for Draben, and Oliveira does dig it out, but are they going to say a lift?
No, they're going to call a net violation on IPFW, and it was absolutely Jerry Quillen turning to transition, just totally raked the net.
Ohio State up now 13-8.
No more room to wiggle here. They need a pass right now.
Robbie Klein, the jump serve.
There it is. That's a great pass.
Dean, CJ, and Stevens blocks him.
And the Buckeyes earned that point because it was a perfect pass. And Lundin could go anywhere he wanted with that ball. He chose to go to the big gun, Macias. Macias had a one-on-one situation there, and it's a huge block, just a huge block when you could get Macias if you're solo on him.
You know, if you're an Ohio State fan and you're seeing the smiles on the faces of the players and coaches and you say that's confidence, if you're an IPFW fan, you see those smiles, you're saying they're cocky as all get out.
Oh, they definitely look it, but you know what? They're backing it up right now. They are executing almost in every facet of the game right now. All cylinders are clicking, and they know it, they feel it, and they're playing with total confidence. The Dons, on the other hand,
are lost.
Yeah, they don't need to feel that way. They have enough talent on that floor. They're 8-0 for a reason. They have those big wins for a reason. They need to settle down right now and start passing.
Jump serve for Klein. Quillen digs it out. Lundin for Macias. Off the touch, point IPFW. Big point for the Dons.
And that is Macias' 17th kill on his 40th swing. He has 40 attempts. The next closest person to him on the Dons is Vitor and Josh Stewart. They both have 16.
What a serve. Macias with the second ace of the night. 14-10, 2 points in a row for the blue and white.
Just like that, they cut the lead to 4. See if Macias can do it again. And it doesn't have to be an ace. Just see if they can get Ohio State out of the system by getting that setter to run. Out of system means that the setter's not setting right from target.
Stevens.
And they're sort of out of system here.
Stevens, is it long? It is long. Stevens thought he had it, took the line.
It's a nice swing by Stevens, just long. And here come the Dons. Crowd's into it. This is a good thing. It's one of the advantages of being a player here at IPFW. You got a great crowd behind you.
Matthews for Meske. Meske stops the IPFW run. 15-11 is our score. We have timeout on the court. Buckeyes up by 4 to lead the match 2-1. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on College 5 Sports.
Well, Coach,
we're going to keep it right
Ball
here.
Yeah,
we're going to keep
Ball's in that timeout, working real hard right now.
Upcoming schedule for IPFW volleyball. A week from tomorrow, the 17th of February, they travel to Erie, Pennsylvania. Ironically, where Ohio State is heading after this match tonight. Then they are at Ball State to see the Cardinals on Thursday, February 23rd. And 2 weeks from tomorrow night, these two teams hook up again, this time at St. John Arena in Columbus, and that's a 7 p.m. first serve. So that's what's ahead for the IPFW men's volleyball team. But that is what's ahead. What's happening right now is IPFW is down 15-11, and Draven will serve for the Buckeyes. At the top of the net, Collins digs it out. Macias blocked by Albertson.
Well, Macias has got sort of the same qualities. He's the big banger for IPFW, and he's got sort of the same qualities that some superstars in other sports have. He's sort of like a Kobe Bryant. He's sort of like a type of guy who could just sort of take control of the game.
There's the swing of Josh Stewart.
And you're going to look to the Dons in this game to just try and get the ball to him as much as possible. And Ohio State knows it, so it's going to be, there's no trickery here. Ohio State knows CJ's going to get the ball, and IPFW is going to keep giving it to him, so let's just see who's better, CJ or Ohio State.
Float serve for Quillen. Matthews setting up Meske.
Matthews is just taking his team through this match right now. His hitters are in the air waiting for him. He's delivering the ball with precision.
He has 45 assists, rather. Dan Meske will serve. A Buckeyes by 5. Overpass. Is it a touch? Yes, it is, says Ryan Himmelgarn.
And the passing woes for the Dons continue. And, you know, in the end, this game comes down to serving and passing. You got to let your setter work. It's sort of like in football, keeping your quarterback protected in the pocket and letting him find his receivers.
Lundeen dug out. Stevens off the touch. Collins keeps it alive. Stewart off the touch, and IPFW gets the point.
You know, the Dons can make it happen when they're in system. They're very hard to beat, even when they're close to in system, but they have not been close
since game 1.
Yeah, since game 1. Lundeen has been just running all over town, just fighting to keep his team in this game. Another good pass by the Buckeyes.
Meskey.
What a great angle by Meskey. Really dive in, dropping that left shoulder so he can still hit line.
Well, you commented earlier what a nice job the setter for Ohio State.
Oh, yeah,
Daniel Matthews is doing.
He's dishing tonight, that's for sure.
As they say, he is on his game.
Yep, he is. He's in the zone.
Stevens to serve. Buckeyes up by 6. Lundeen's got to go a long way for that set. And a little bit of a break for IPFW.
Well, that's one way to get a team if the setter is really making a difference for a team. And it's two things that are happening. Their passing is good right now. The Buckeyes' passing is really good, and the setting is very strong. It's really given lots of trouble to the block. Well, one way to stop the setter from setting is make him play the first ball.
Oh, that's a good serve there.
Chance for the Dons.
Macias, yes. Off Meskey, and it's 19-15. The lead is cut to 4.
You know, if the setter digs the first ball, he obviously can't set the second one, so that makes the offense more predictable. The Dons have a good enough block that predictable offense could work. They could get a hold of it.
Lundeen into the net, however. A service error.
Now we're in the danger zone. The Dons have to outscore the Buckeyes 15-9. 15-8, actually. It's 20-15. Buckeyes with a good lead here.
Brian Hughes into serve. Lundeen going to set up Collins, and that's blocked.
Nice cover.
They go the opposite side, Macias, and CJ picks up his 20th kill of the night.
Nice coverage by Plisky, the freshman libero, to keep the rally alive and let Lundeen get the ball to Macias.
You know, when Josh Collins was a freshman, he had a wicked jump serve. The last couple of years, he's been serving the float. Let's see what he does now.
It's a little bit of a safer serve. And right now, they need to tighten it up. There's a dig by Lundeen. Oliveira to Macias.
Is it a touch? Is it in? And I think they're going to give it to Ohio State. Lundeen is talking to Brian Himmelgarn. And the Buckeyes are going to get the point, and IPFW not happy.
The Dons have to fight through this. They feel like they're getting slighted by the officials. They're struggling on the pass. They're frustrated.
Quillen. Macias on the other side. Dug out by Meskey. Klein. Dug out by Jared Quillen. Macias again off the touch, and that time IPFW will get the point. CJ Macias brings IPFW within 4, 21-17.
Good feisty rally by the Dons, and every rally is going to have to be feisty because the Buckeyes are bringing it. They're really going to have to buckle down, the Mastodons are. They're really going to have to try and dig everything, and they need to get some more action out of their block.
But they have to get the serve over the net, and Vitor Oliveira unable to do so on that occasion. 22-17 the score. Robbie Klein to serve. Buckeyes are smelling it, as they say. Jump serve. Lundeen for Stewart. Now Josh Stewart now has 14 kills. His season high is 22. That came against Loyola.
Well, Javen's been quiet, so if they get a good pass, look for Javen here to see a set.
CJ
Stewart needs to stay with him.
Matthews setting up. Klein hits the net. Collins keeps it alive. Free ball chance coming up for Ohio State. Matthews. Oh, Stewart with a block. Stewart again. Perseverance pays off for IPFW there.
That's how they're going to have to do it. They're going to have to dig deep. They're going to have to come up with those tough digs. They're going to have to fight hard. The Buckeyes are pushing, and Dons have to push back just a little harder.
22-19. CJ Macias again, a jump serve. Off the top of the net, but it's over.
Tough pass.
Matthews for Stevens. No. It is long, and now this crowd is into it. Pete Hansen says no touch. Let's call timeout. IPFW now only trailing by 2. You're watching IPFW Volleyball on College 5 Sports.
You know, she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour. Unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales. You're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
You see the good blocking there, and that's something we haven't seen a lot of late in this match is blocking by the Dons, so it's nice to see it coming alive when they need it.
You saw the kill there by Josh Stewart. Now, Steve, this is the loudest this crowd of 2,246 events since game 1 tonight.
Yeah, the Dons need them. They're still not out of the hole. They're 2 points back. It was an excellent timeout by Coach Hansen again. He, you know, in this sport, a team can get momentum and really stay hot, and a good timeout can try and sort of stop that momentum, sort of ice a team. So Hansen doesn't want it to get any closer.
Good serve by Macias. Overplay at the net. Stewart just long. And he's fighting for a point. And IPFW is going to get the point. They're going to say a little jostle at the net. That Ohio State might have gotten into it, into the net.
Though what the call was is it was a joust, and at first they said that Stewart hit it out, but it was very obvious that he hit it off the block. And also, the setter, Matthews, is back row, so the call should have been a back row block anyhow.
Macias serving for a tie. Matthews setting up Meski. Lundeen with a big dig. Plesky going to set up. Quillen in and off the hands. I think we are tied. Meski fighting as the ball hit the pole, I think.
Well, now the Buckeyes are questioning the officiating, saying that the ball hit the antenna. But the official saying no.
Oh, they're going to change it. They're changing the call, I think.
No, they're not changing the call. They're just confirming that the call is it came off the block. It is IPFW's point.
Okay, because Himmelgarn pointed as if it was Ohio State's point, I thought for a moment. Instead, we're tied at 22. Big serve coming up for CJ Macias. Matthews to Meski off the touch. Plesky
great pass
digs it out. Stewart kept it alive by Ohio State. Stevens off the touch, and Ohio State will get the point.
Good run by the Dons, though. And you know what? They earned almost every one of those points. They fought hard for each one. They didn't catch any breaks, hitting errors, or anything like that. They had maybe one hitting error by the Buckeyes. But overall, I mean, the Dons played huge defense, had some big blocks, some timely kills. They really earned their way back into this match, and that's got to do something for your confidence when you earn your way in.
Lane Draven, jump serve.
Plisky handles it pretty nicely.
Lundeen for Macias. Yes! Off of Draven's hands. We're tied at 23. What's interesting, Steve, if IPFW can win game 4, they are 2-0 in matches going to 5. Ohio State has yet to play a match that goes to 5 games.
And this crowd can push any team over the top.
Jared Quillen will serve. IPFW 23, Ohio State 23, game 4. Buckeyes lead the match 2-1. Knuckleball serve. Albertson dug out by Plisky. Lundeen for Collins. Oh, nice dig there. Stevens, and IPFW takes the lead, 24-23. Connor Martin had a great dig for the Buckeyes, but
Martin, one of the things that I like about Martin is he can dig the balls in front of him, and you don't see many men's players able to do that. They dig the ones hit right at him, but covering the floor in front of him is another story. It's just such a fast-paced game.
Albertson off the leg of Quillen. We're tied at 24.
All right, it comes down now. We're getting into crunch time. We're really getting into crunch time, and see if the Dons passing can just hold it together right now. It's about getting the ball back.
Dan Meskey to serve. It's a good one.
It's a pretty good pass.
Lundeen for CJ. Dug out by Meskey. Dink shot off of Collins' hand. Point Buckeyes, they're up by 1, 25-24.
And that is a crafty shot by Meskey. Punches it into the hands, knows he doesn't have a swing on the ball, and that's a great choice by him.
Dan Meskey continues to serve. Good serve, too. Lundeen setting up Collins. And IPFW ties it up at 25. Josh Collins now has just picked up his 6th kill of the night.
And the Dons get, it's sort of bad timing for Josh Stewart to go out of the front row right now with 5 points left for both teams. In comes Oliveira. You got Collins in the front row and Lundeen.
Oh, good set, good kill by Robbie Klein, and Ohio State takes the lead 26-25, and IPFW was running out of points.
Yeah, and for the most part, again, the Buckeyes' offense has just been silky smooth when they're in system, just almost giving the block of IPFW no chance.
IPFW calls a timeout, first of 2 allotted here in game number 4. Oh, time for everyone to catch their breath. Each team now with 1 timeout left. Again, if you're just tuning in, IPFW won game 1 30-24. Ohio State won game 2 30-25. They won game 3 30-22. And they lead here in game 4 26-25. Ohio State in game 4, Steve, hitting .455, IPFW 375. Both teams rising to the top.
That's right. It's a great volleyball game right here. The match is very good, but this game in particular is just, it's all guts. It's all heart. You got to give it to the Dons. I mean, they looked frustrated, they looked defeated, and they fought hard. They did not catch easy breaks by the Buckeyes. Every point in that comeback was earned by big digs, by big blocks, big swings, and they're doing it. They're fighting really, really hard right now. You got to tip your hat to the Dons, and this is the reason they're 8-0, is because no matter what, they're going to fight. They're going to fight, fight, fight.
Well, Sam Stevens, will be serving for Ohio State. Jump serve is a good one.
Tough pass.
Real good one.
Lundeen has to handle.
Go a long way. Free ball chance coming up for Ohio State. Matthews for Klein. Oh, nice dig. Collins? Yes! Oh. Or
well, the
Ohio
call is
State's
that Collins' attack went into the antenna.
For a moment we were tied, but Ohio State instead goes up 27-25. And you see Pete Hansen again in his 23rd year as the head coach at Ohio State. Between our 2 head coaches, they have 50 years of men's volleyball.
The Dons need a pass right now. That's not the pass they needed. This is trouble. They got to make something of it. Okay, good ball.
Pancake right there. Meskey and Collins' block is wide, and now Ohio State is just 2 points away from closing this match out.
Oh, you know, Meskey has just been clutch down the stretch of this game, and it's a good timeout by Coach Ball.
Well, he's used up his 2nd and final timeout.
Well, no reason to let it hang around. There's still a chance for the Dons, and Coach Ball knows it. He just needs to get his guys to believe it.
Well, again, IPFW, the last team in the country with an undefeated record, and it is being put to the test right now. I have to admit, Steve, I mentioned earlier in the telecast, last week I was with the IPFW men's basketball team in Texas and Utah, and on last Friday night we had a chance to watch on TV BYU taking on UC Irvine, number 1 against number 2. IPFW will be taking on UC Santa Barbara on Saturday, March 3rd.
They're third. Santa Barbara's third in the nation. That'll be a great test.
Yeah.
And it's a doubleheader because
women's
on
basketball
Saturday,
closes out.
Yeah, on Saturday they have that match against UCSB, but also Friday night, the March 2nd, they have a match against UCSB. So you want to see the number 3rd team in the nation take on the number 5th team in the nation, come on down or watch us.
Started to saw BYU take on UC Irvine, and both of those teams are good, but this is just as good a match here tonight.
It's a great match, and they need a pass right now. And that's a tough one.
And we in trouble.
It's alive, ball's alive. They need a block here.
Albertson, Don Snow, they cannot keep it alive, and Ohio State has a match point coming up.
And Ohio State, as you said before, tasted, and they are just playing with all the guts they can right now.
Well, this is the second time this year IPFW has faced a match point.
And they got 4 of them to fend off right now. And they have not passed this serve from Stevens well at all.
It's the net.
A break.
Lundeen goes offense. Meskey keeps it alive. Klein hits it into the net. IPFW is still breathing.
There's life yet. They had a scrap for that one, though. It wasn't the pass. Lundeen did everything he could to save it. And you got Macias in the front row here. You got Oliveira and Collins. Look for the set to go in front of Oliveira or Collins and not in front of Macias.
Jump serve hits the net, gets over. Matthews gonna set up Klein, and it is game, set, and match for Ohio State. Robbie Klein with his 9th kill of the night. And IPFW falls from the ranks of the unbeaten. Ohio State comes to Fort Wayne and wins this match. Lose game 1, 30-24, but they come back, win 30-25, 30-22, and 30-26. Buckeyes improve to 9-1. IPFW drops to 8-1. It's the first conference loss for IPFW. They're 3-1 there. Ohio State is 1-0. And I know we don't have too much time left, Steve, but real quickly, look at some of the numbers. 21 kills for Dan Meskey tonight, 12 for Sam Stevens. Let's take a break. We'll get the numbers and we'll finish our telecast. Again, IPFW loses this match to Ohio State tonight, 3-1. We're back with more volleyball in a moment here on College 5 Sports.
Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Living with diabetes is the pits.
When I wake up, the first thing I have to do is check my blood sugar.
I just want to feel like all the other kids without pricking my fingers or injecting myself with insulin.
Diabetes is rough on my whole family.
When I was diagnosed, my mom couldn't stop crying. But imagine a cure.
Right now, as many as 3 million children and adults are living with type 1 diabetes. They will never outgrow it. Some will face complications like kidney failure, blindness, and heart disease. That's why the science the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation is supporting is so critical. Imagine a cure.
I've gone away to a college where the class size is small.
I've gone away to a college with a beautiful campus.
I've gone away to a college that cares about diversity.
I've gone away to a college where I get to live in my own apartment instead of living in a dorm room.
I've gone away to a college that really isn't that far away at all.
I go to IPFW.
IPFW.
I go to IPFW.
To find out more about college life at IPFW, go to our website. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. Along with IPFW Women's Assistant Volleyball Coach Steve Florio, I'm Mike Maz. And our men's volleyball match between 2 ranked teams has come to an end tonight. 5th-ranked IPFW, the last undefeated team in the country, falls at the hands of number 10 Ohio State, 3-1. Steve Florio, and we look back at this match quickly. IPFW won game one somewhat easily, 30-24, but after that it was pretty much all Ohio State.
Yeah, that's right. You know, what did Ohio State do? Well, they served the heck out of the ball. That's in my opinion, that's one of the big things that they did really well to make the difference in this match. Again, if you look at the statistics, they did have 23 service errors. They had 11 aces. That doesn't tell the whole story. The Dons were rarely in system most of the second half of this match. And, you know, you saw Colin Lundeen fighting his heart out to get to every ball, make the most out of every pass. But it was just such tough serving. It was very hard to handle. You know, Ohio State was aggressive. They stayed aggressive. They didn't let up. And they said to the Dons, you're going to have to step your passing up. And the Dons had trouble doing that right to the very end.
It's kind of a shame for these 2,246 fans, the largest crowd of the season, to come in and watch IPFW play to see their team lose. But one good thing, it may sound crazy, these two teams get together again 2 weeks from tomorrow night in Columbus, and IPFW will have revenge on their minds.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and you know, maybe the 8-0 record was on the mind of some of the players. I mean, I hate to say it, but it does go through the minds. You don't want it to, you don't think it should, but it does. So you don't want that to happen.
Now, real briefly, some of the quick numbers: kills, Ohio State 62, IPFW 56. Assists 59-51 in favor of the Buckeyes. Digs, IPFW outdug Ohio State 40-37. Blocks, 8.5 team blocks for IPFW, 8 for Ohio State. Leading CJ Macias 22 kills, Josh Stewart 16 for IPFW. Dan Meske 12 kills for Ohio State. We're going to see some highlights here, Steve. But until then, good night from the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW.